What's up, everybody? Welcome to podcast. Now, I'm Alex. In this video, I wanted to do something a little bit different for Batman. I wanted to go into and talk about one specific villain. We've done this for the Joker, kind of in the past, kind of giving my thoughts of why I think he should be in the game. Now, I want to do the Riddler. I want to talk about if should the Riddler be in this new Batman game. Now, really quickly, before I start off, I'm trying to make a more notice of our Discord server. We've had it for actually quite a long time. I'm trying to get as many people to join as possible. We're really doing really well. A lot of people have been joining. The link is always in the description below. There's an entire Batman community there. So if you guys have not yet joined, I know we've gotten a lot of additional people over the last couple of weeks with kind of Batman ramping back up again. Just wanted to point that out. So the link for Discord will be in the description below. Now, the Riddler is an interesting one, right? We've talked about, I have mentioned I've had videos, I should say, just in general, where I've talked about villains that I think should be in the game. Are there villains that maybe they should just exclude? And it ultimately comes down again to my general approach of I want a blend of old and new. And I think I kind of get caught up in that a little too much too, where I kind of go, well, you know what, there's just so many old villains that I really want to see, and yet there is an entire massive amazing catalog of Batman. There's so many. There's truly, and I don't even know them all because I really don't read the comics, but I do just generally know there are a lot of villains in the Batman world. So while I want as many of those represented as possible, I understand you also need a blend of what you've already had, right? Can you really leave Two-Face? Can you really leave Penguin? Can you really leave Joker and Riddler and all these people? Can you really leave them out there, right, with not bringing them back? Now, some would say, yeah, and in fact, you should. And I would agree for some of those, but then as I go through, I'm like, well, you know what? I'd really like to see what they could do with Scarecrow again. I'd really like to see what they could do with Killer Croc again. And, Hush, you can keep going down the list, right? So Riddler, I feel like he falls outside of that general mindset I have, because when I think of him, or when I think of villains in general for this new Batman game, I do think, like I just told you, where it's like, man, I really liked how they did Scarecrow. I really want to see how they could do him like a brand, because it's a fresh slate, right? You have a clean slate. You could do whatever you want. Give us another Scarecrow. He was awesome in Asylum, not very much used, right? But his scenes were some of the the highlight scenes. And then in Night, he was pretty solid, but he didn't really have. They kind of took away the main villain status from him, so bring him back as a side villain. And again, you can go down. I've told you guys, like, Killer Croc is one of my personal favorites. Hush, Black Mask. A lot of people have said, Black Mask was done dirty multiple times, so I really think that they need to do him right here, and in order to do that, you need to bring him back. And I could really do a video like this, by the way, on any of them. If there's a villain specifically you want me to talk about, whether it's old or new, let me know, and I can definitely make those videos going forward. If there's kind of like an empty slot, I can definitely do that. But for Riddler, I don't think of him the same. I kind of don't to be honest, I don't think of Riddler all that often, because he does have, well, look, I don't despise what they did with Riddler in the games, okay? That could be a very unpopular opinion. It could. I don't love it. I just don't hate it. When it came to Arkham Knight specifically, I was going into that game with more excitement than I had going into any other Arkham game, okay? I got Arkham Asylum. You guys will remember the story. Remember, I didn't even get Arkham Asylum, I think, day one. I think I got it like a day or two after it came out. I saw reviews online. I saw everybody saying how amazing it was. I knew it was coming out, but I thought it was just going to be, because I wasn't really into the gaming world, I thought it was just going to be, a generic superhero game that's just generally not good. Saw everybody say how amazing it was, and then bought it. And I absolutely loved it. Going into City, I really, I didn't have like so much hype for it. In fact, I don't even kind of remember my journey going into City. But I did remember I was excited. I just wasn't like over the moon. For Night, I was ready. I was ready when they announced it. I was ready when they showed that first trailer at Sony's E3. I was very sad when they delayed it. I got it 3 days before my birthday when it came out that year on June 25th, and I beat that game, I believe, in 2 days. I just went. I was in my room and I just went from start to finish, and so I was excited about everything. And I even went into it with a mindset like, okay, I'm going to platinum this game. And I believe I did platinum Arkham Knight. I got all the Riddler trophies. I did. I platinum that game. So I got all the trophies for Batman Arkham Knight, which means I did all the Riddler stuff. And so, again, for that game, I tried to give it as clean of a opinion as I possibly could. And for what it's worth. Now, again, Rocksteady is not Warner Bros. Montreal. For what it's worth, I thought they did a much better job with the Riddler in Arkham Knight. Now, you could not agree. And you know what? There were parts of which I would say are actually worse, but there were a lot of parts I would say are better. I liked generally the storyline. I didn't really pay attention to Riddler's story all that much in Asylum. City, I felt like I even paid even less attention because I feel like I just really went with the story in City, and I didn't really do all that much of the side things, especially when it came to the Riddler stuff. But again, with Knight, I tried to give it a chance. So I tried to get any Riddler challenge, any Riddler trophy that was happening when I was going from point A to point B, I would try and do. If they got in my way, I would do them. I actually like how that interwoven story was between him and Batman and Catwoman. I actually really liked it. I liked the end battle. It was very different. It was not what I think some people don't like that final battle. I could see it, but I actually thought it was quite different. If anything, it was different and unexpected from what I thought. And I kind of did like when you were playing as Batman and Catwoman and you were trying to figure out these very intricate puzzles. Now, the underground speedway, that was just, we've laughed at that before. That's an absolute joke, right? That is just absolutely hilarious that Riddler somehow managed to get a team down there, or maybe himself, and he was excavating the underground of Gotham for probably what would have taken him 30, 40 years to make those underground speedways. I don't know how he did it, and I don't know how he did it in between City and Night, but somehow he pulled it off. And so, that was just absolutely ridiculous, right? You have to really just say, all right, we're going to pretend that didn't happen. But there is something to getting Riddler trophies. I feel like, I don't know what that something is, and I can't even maybe put into words for you guys, but tell me if you agree with that. There's something to it where, you know what I mean? You see that glowing green question mark, and you're like, I need to get that. I need to figure out how. Now, again, they've done different things where they've tried to connect it to different gadgets, and you're going to need this gadget, or you're going to need this ability that maybe you haven't unlocked yet, or again, this gadget you don't have yet, and you're going to need that to get that Riddler trophy eventually. I mean, games do that with all sorts of different things. I think the general idea with the Riddler is just that, again, they kind of do him dirty. He's annoying. He's in your earpiece, mocking you, and then you just destroy all his challenges, and he's like, oh, you cheated. And it's, I mean? It's very strange in that way. Again, I think Knight did a little bit more where it's okay, well, you see him more often, and you literally, you face him in a mech suit, right? There's just, I feel like they try to give Riddler more of a story in Knight, and again, I appreciate that. I don't think I loved it. I'd say out of all, and we've talked about the side villain, the wheel, right? The mission wheel that I really, really like. Out of all of them, and the Riddler, I don't even think counts in that wheel, if I remember correctly. I would say the Riddler is the least exciting. I mean, I liked all of them more than the Riddler, okay? But there's just something, personally for me, there's something to collecting trophies and platinum in games, so I'm okay with that. And now, I should say, I did not figure out all the challenges by myself. I just went online for any of the ones I didn't figure out, but there's just something to it. And so, I know that was a really long, that was 8 minutes of me explaining the past. What does that mean for this game? Well, do you do it again? Because I feel like they're in a spot with two different people, and that is Joker and that is Riddler. And with Joker, you have the fandom saying, for the love of God, well, actually the fandom split, right? Some of them are saying, for the love of God, don't have him in it at all. Then there's some people, and this is where I fall, and I think a lot of you guys agree with me, you can have him in it. It's fine. You can reimagine him again, right? You can do your own thing. It's actually a good thing. Do not make him the main villain. Even if you want to include him into the main story, which again, earlier leaks suggest he will eventually find, because he's going to be a side villain, but he'll eventually make his way into the main story. I mean, okay, please don't make it over the top. Don't set it up so he's the main villain of the next game. Don't, again, push him in it so much that he becomes the main villain of this game. I get it. I get the Joker is a pretty big character, and it's very hard to keep the screen off of him, right? If you have Joker in anything, it's very hard to make it so that he's not the main villain. But you have those people, and then you have the people that are saying, no, you know what, Joker can be the main villain, right? There's really three camps. For Riddler, I really don't know how many camps there are. I think there's let me go back to Joker really fast. So for Joker, you have those three, but they need to make a decision, right? And they have, obviously, because this game is probably very, very close to being done, they have made a decision. And they're going to upset some people, they're going to anger some people, they're going to make some people happy. You know what I mean? You got that. And I think Joker is just a very different mindset from people. For Riddler, it's all right, you can't do him the same way as you did him in the past. You like absolutely can't. But we said that for things like the Joker, right? They are similar in some ways, right? Because we don't want the Riddler back in the fetching of the trophies and all the different different like challenges you have to do. Like we don't necessarily want that, but we also don't want Joker back as the main villain, and he could very well find himself back in that main villain. You know what I mean? So Warner Bros. Montreal, like we've said, I mean they have the game is so exciting. The game, I mean, I cannot wait. Trust me, I cannot wait to talk about this game once we actually see some details, right? The video possibilities are truly endless. And for those that think I farm it or milk it, which I don't, but people say it, wait until they see when this game gets announced, right? Because then it'll be even worse for them. But Warner Bros. Montreal also has a lot of problems that could very well happen in this game. They could be making the wrong decisions with Joker. And again, the Riddler is a lot harder to please because what do? He's got such this stigma, literally. He's got such this stigma to him that because all the past games that he's followed the same kind of thing. Again, Knight did it differently, but Knight wasn't even Warner Bros. Montreal, right? So what do you do? Do you do it again? Do you keep the same system? You've done it, but at that point, you're either mocking us or you're tone deaf, and you really just don't care what the people. Because really, every single game, people have said, "All right, enough with Riddler," or "You're doing it wrong," or "Please stop," or "Please change something." And again, I think progressively it did get better throughout the games, but I don't think it reached the level of being good. In fact, again, like I enjoyed some of the parts to the Riddler. I mainly liked the Catwoman Batman dynamic. I've talked about that before. I love that dynamic in Arkham Knight. And I think the Riddler, funny enough, like he's kind of the reason why I liked it, because it brought them together so many different times in so many situations. I actually think he helped that. So if they do it like that and they take away all the garbage, he could be really good. But again, how do you do it? Do you make him more of a presence? Like, do you like people have said, do you want the city to be like in zones, like in different games? You know, they have different zones, and we've talked about that, right? Does a villain control each section of the map? Which actually Arkham City was kind of like that, right? Do you do that? I think that would be pretty cool. But do you have like the Riddler have his own, and is it just like a series of riddles like written on the wall everywhere? Like what do you do if you want to change him up? How do you do it? So that's my biggest question. I'll tell you that there are parts of the Riddler that I really like and I think enhance the games. There's also a lot of parts that you could say are literally the worst part of all of these games. This is honestly so difficult. My gut feeling is telling me I think he should be in this game. Those words just came out of my mouth. If you guys don't agree, it's completely cool. I really want to say I don't want him and I just want to have a game without Riddler in it. But at the same time, like, I try to be as honest as I can with you guys. I really can't say it. But for some reason, maybe that loses a lot of trust in me. I think if you guys have lost trust in me, this isn't going to be the thing that does it. But it's weird because I just talked all about it like that. But I think there's just something to the Riddler where it's like if they do it right and they pick the best parts of him and they try and rework him, because again, every one of these things can get reworked, reimagined because of this reboot, right? All these rewords. I really think it can be done well, and I think I want to see them try it. And much in the same way, I want to see them try again. Scarecrow, Killer Croc, Hush, Black Mask, Zsasz, all these characters. I want to see these characters reimagined and done brand new again, and I think Riddler should be part of that. I don't know. It's very strange. I didn't actually think I would come to this conclusion after I record this, but here we are. So guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think Riddler should be in this new game? More importantly, if he is, how should they use him? What kind of character or what kind of things should he do in this game? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed, have that bell icon turned on, and again, Discord, the link's in the description. If you guys want to join, there's already a lot of you guys in it, but any new people, right, you're more than welcome. Got a fantastic community over there. The guys that really started that too are really, really awesome. So lots of awesome people over there. Thank you guys again so much for watching. We'll be covering obviously anything Batman videos every couple days, and I hope to see you guys there.